Is the Cybertruck the best truck not to buy? This is a Cybertruck. We have the foundation model in stainless steel, because that's the only way you can configure this unless you get a wrap. Clearance can go up to 15 inches, but there's some pros and cons that we're definitely gonna touch bases on. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Issa.
From Hawkeye Rides, and we're gonna start off with the front. LED headlights, that is a light bar. The windshield wiper is larger than light poles on an interstate. You have a frunk. The problems, it's stainless steel body construction. The panels, there's gaps everywhere, from the front, for the windshield area, in the rear, and they do this even in the interior. When I'm thinking about a vehicle that goes up to $100,000, and I understand they're starting to drop in value a little bit, I would like to see the aesthetics to be a little bit more sound. Clearance going up to 15 inches. The con to it is you can only go up to 25 miles per hour.
He was thinking more.
You need to be, get the microphone.
With Elon's idea of this truck, he was thinking that it was going to be a quality truck, but I think he was thinking more quantity than quality when it comes to all this panel gapping. Like, look at this. Ow!
And even though Issa was just joking, seriously speaking, we've had the vehicle all day, and he did actually cut his fingers on the door. You have to be careful, and it can void the warranty by doing anything to it, by cleaning the car, the tonneau cover, by even the charging port that closes and opens up. Is it practical? Not really. But is it growing on me? Just maybe.
I could see how it is growing on you. It does have the 0 to 60 around the 4 seconds and 600 horsepower, around 600 horsepower. I'm not going to be exact because Tesla isn't that accurate when it comes to specs. And it is around 7,000 pounds.
Which, when you put all this into content, it's kind of an amazing truck. 20-inch wheels, this is unique to Tesla. We have Pirelli tires that actually say Cybertruck on them. That is pretty cool. Now, it is a triangle. You're gonna notice that on the side view mirrors. You're gonna notice that on the camera housing, as well as the actual structure of the vehicle, and they do that pretty much everywhere, even on the window. So I like that they're keeping that Easter egg alive, found throughout the exterior, but they do need to tighten it up a little bit. I mean, let us know your thoughts in the comments about that. Comparing it against other competition, this is gonna be the lightest truck in class. One of the fastest trucks, but is it really faster than a Porsche 911?
I don't think it is faster than a 911. I don't think it even competes with a 911 to begin with. I don't like the fact that it's stainless steel because look, I was trying to open the door, I did cut my fingers, and I got so terrified of closing the door with my fingers again that I actually gripped it with my fingertips, and as you can see, my fingertips are all over it like a crime scene.
And sadly, when you're picking up a truck that costs this price for MSRP, Eli, you gotta do a little bit better with some of these elements. I mean, the touch to feel is too rugged. Great truck for military, but for everyday use, I mean, it's questionable.
With this tonneau cover, it was originally used for the Tesla ATV, which was a concept for the Tesla Cybertruck, which sadly did not come out, so they made a kid's one instead. So this tonneau cover is mainly used to reduce the amount of energy being wasted.
You get 10% more range with this closed, but then you don't get a rear view or a rear window. You have to rely on cameras, which you saw. What does it say?
It said that it wasn't accurate. So if you hit a pedestrian, it's your fault. It's not Tesla's.
But on a Pro, you could tow up to 11,000 pounds. Payload 2,500 pounds, 325-mile range, and 130-ish miles in a supercharge at 15 minutes. Nothing groundbreaking though, but considering the weight and the capabilities, it's awesome. Four-wheel steering, which obviously helps. Steer by wire, that's why you don't have to steer so much. With front and rear differential lockers. For 25, they are going to offer basically another battery so you can get more range. But then you're going to be losing cargo in the bed. So I don't know, I mean, how you feel about that, because when I get a truck, I want all of that rugged capabilities, which you're getting. LED taillights, that's standard, but then there's a twist to that. At nighttime, when the lights are fully lit up, it's a light bar. But when you brake, it becomes a smaller light. Kind of wish it was a larger light, because this thing is huge. The width, the length, It's a very abnormal truck, but for me, I still think it's cool. But let us know if you would option the Cybertruck. The 6x4 bed, push this, it'll open up the tonneau cover electronically, push the bottom button here to go into 67 cubic feet of storage. And yes, that's the wheel covers that would be on the front of those rims. An integrated 120 volt and 240 volt for the bed and cabin, so you can literally use the power of this vehicle to power your house. So they do a great job with optimal storage capacity, and this is actually the easier way to drive it because now you have a rear window. Unfortunately, if you keep this down, you will lose about 10% battery range. So you actually close the tonneau cover so that way you don't have that issue. And for more cargo, you pull these little tabs here. 60-40 split up, you're getting 54 cubic feet of space more. And it's a flat floor, which makes it even better for that everyday drive, or even if you're using it for a work truck. The key card for the Cybertruck, this is the way it comes when you buy it brand new. And look, he's already locked in because we tried to put it through a car wash and we didn't hit car wash mode. So we can't get inside the vehicle. It's locked, like literally. I'm just kidding. You push here, it's gonna push out the door. Issa is going to be able to exit. 12-way power seat adjustment for the front occupants. Heated front seats. We don't have ventilated front seats or massage seats, which when you get into this type of variant and you're spending this type of money, I wish you'd get a little bit more standard amenities, but let me know your thoughts. Cybertruck badging, I do like the kick plate, and it's going to be a more minimalistic interior. You put the key card right here if you are unfamiliar with this truck. But look at how huge it is. It kind of reminds me of the old Cadillacs with that long front overhang. But this extends out even longer, feeling like a tank. Ambient lighting, air vents are going to be seamless. You don't see any of them, so they do a good job cleaning it up. One screen, that's what Tesla's known for. It's an 18.5 infinity screen. The darn thing is huge. It does have dual climate control settings, and that's how you will engage the vehicle. You literally slide it forward to go forward or backwards to go in reverse, and pretty much everything is self-explanatory here.
And a cool Easter egg, when you go onto the car and you look and you like double click, it'll make his jokes on each of the window when he messed up the ball.
That is a cool little Easter egg, as well as raising or lowering the suspension so you can get that 15 inches of clearance. The cool thing about it is it literally just says high, and when you're going to the high level, it actually goes relatively quick, but unfortunately, like we were seeing on the exterior, the fastest you could go is up to 25 miles per hour. Sirius XM, and you have your games, which you can use the steering wheel for the front occupants, as well as your Bluetooth connectivity, and the navigation. You have the pinch and the swipe. Slide it forward to drive the vehicle. But look how cool this screen is. It shows everything there. I like that. I don't understand why it's squiggly. I'm not moving the steering wheel at all. And you can change everything here too on the fly. So you go into your dynamics, you can go to your towing, haul, charging, all this great stuff that you're probably not going to use half of it. The only thing that I would probably say you're going to use is this dynamic, and maybe you're going to tow with it, and obviously to check for your charging. The steering itself, look at how light it is. I mean, this is turning all the way. If you want to turn completely all the way, that's it. That steer-by-wire is amazing. The nice thing also is when you put it into reverse, because we have the tonneau cover covering the window. You don't have any digital rear view mirror, but you have the cameras all over the vehicle. Also, whenever you're turning the wheel, you can see they'll also show you, like, there's literally a vehicle there. You can see it right in front of you. So it is somewhat easy to navigate. And because it's such a long windscreen, check this out now. This is your sun visors. It folds out. So you do have the tint here, which will help, but it's just the way it's designed. It's not necessarily something that, it's just a huge window. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Could you drive this daily with this type of visibility and this big blind spot? You literally are going to want to use the cameras and the steering wheel. It's kind of like an octagonal shape. Everything is on here, so I do like that. The turn signal's here to change your lighting from auto to high beams. And then on this side, obviously for your windshield wipers, look how huge that thing is. It's insane. with voice recognition, and because this is steer-by-wire, literally, this is more than you will actually need to turn for the ride of the vehicle. Wireless charging pad, cup holders, this is going to be soft to touch. It opens up into a pretty deep storage pocket. And how do you feel about the interior quality?
It's definitely lacking in quality. I see absolutely nothing that really looks aesthetically pleasing. Like, I like the AC vents that are hidden, but how are you going to control the AC vents when you have nothing to move them with? I think the only thing that, like, makes this truck exciting in the interior is the fact that you got a screen right here and a screen right here to watch TV.
Leg space is good. And headroom, not an issue there. The rear view mirror is smaller than my liking, especially considering the size of the vehicle. And to put the windows up and down, it is kind of pushed back a little bit. If you manually open the door, it will literally tell you in the infotainment screen that you can damage the window. So it wants you to use everything electronic. Storage, it does have a ton of it, and they do a decent job, especially in the cargo and throughout. It's just so minimalistic that it becomes just too plain. And this has a built-in hospital HEPA filter, which filters out 99.97% of airborne particles. To go to the back, the same thing. You just push the button. It's going to come out a bit. That's the opening that you have. The nice thing here is you got a 90-degree opening. So it literally opens up completely. I did raise the clearance, so this is that 15 inches, so it would be nice to get some running boards put on this thing, especially maybe a grab handle here. Again, just kind of keeping it very plain. And one thing you will notice is there's no manual opening for the rear. You can only do it in the front. About the same size storage pocket though, which I think Tesla does a good job carving that out. Leg space isn't an issue. And the same thing for headroom, which is surprising because this is a triangular roof. How do you feel about the back?
Very plain. It's even more plain than the front is. I do like the ambient lighting.
And you got this 9.4-inch touch screen for the back, which are dual climate control settings. You can also play games back here. You can also watch Netflix or YouTube, so you can see our review. And underneath it receives a home plug. Air vents are going to be shaped as an L. Total of 15 speakers with 2 subwoofers. Check out the leg space that Isa has, and this is on the side, so that way you can see how the headroom is besides mine. Sliding into the center, floor is flat, butt, leg, and shoulder space is more than enough. You're not even touching each other. And the same thing for headroom. I can actually fit back here in the center with this triangular design. But even in the interior, you're still having the aesthetics that just kind of come out. All the fitment just isn't aligned correctly. The Cybertruck, we are excited to bring it to the channel. Around 600 horsepower, around 4 seconds 0 to 60. The numbers are crazy. Towing up to 11,000 pounds, payload 2,500 pounds, up to 15 inches of clearance. Yes, we have it in dynamic mode. I have to say, it's impressive, but they do have a lot of room for fixing things up.
I agree, especially this interior.
They did an okay job for a minimalistic look, but the screen gets fingerprints kind of everywhere. The ride comfort, you're gonna feel everything. It's a truck. Now let's see the performance. It's kind of scary. The reason why I say that is it's so freaking big, you don't want to wreck this thing. You're going to kill somebody. And it won't be you unless there's a child sitting in the front. At least that's what the airbags say. It's going to take us to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, the performance is amazing. The range is good. Charging time is normal for Tesla. Interior, they stay spot on with the minimalistic look. I like the configuration of the screen. I just wish there was a driver screen. I like the steer-by-wire, and I dislike that you have to use everything in the infotainment or the huge infinity screen. Because even to adjust your mirrors, you have to go into there, a couple of settings, and then you can use your steering wheel. It would be better that they had it where there's like another button, or the buttons did multiple functions like they already do, but have another button that you can just tick so it's a little bit easier. Because for safety, a lot of blind spots. I actually put the tonneau cover down, which also is a con because I'm losing around 10% range. So it kind of affects the car. I mean, what's your thoughts, Issa?
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw this truck, I thought it was going to be a cool car. I thought it was going to have a lot of futuristic attributes, but it feels like I'm getting catfished when I go inside the vehicle and when I see the vehicle up close, because it's nothing like how I looked at it on the road.
It's not as quiet as outer space either. So Eli, I'm sorry, that's your slogan, but it just isn't. Using the turn signals on the steering wheel, obviously because I'm used to a stock, they don't have no stock, it can get a little bit different, I guess you could say. And because of how big it is, I just want to wait before I do anything, even though I have so much power. And that's not usually the case when I have a lot of power in any review that I do. And if this Mitsubishi doesn't hit us, oh, they're gonna let us go. Turn radius, look at this thing, 3 lanes, it's a freaking tank. Let's rock and roll. Oh my God. We just got a crazy amount of speed quickly. It is insane.
Yeah, it's very fast.
It's not necessarily the fastest, but the torque that you have on these electric vehicles will give you a freaking headache.
Yeah, it feels like I'm in a roller coaster when he just smashed that pedal. Now, you do feel like you are in space, especially because all the asteroid noises in the background.
That is a good point. And I think it's cool that half of the screen I'm literally seeing everything outside, but in the same aspect, it's literally telling you not to really utilize these features that much, that you should be paying attention to what you're doing. And the fact that, like, we used a adapter for the plug, it took 2 people to take the adapter out. So just a few little areas that could be entertained and worked out. And you're starting to see a lot of them coming onto the used car lot as well, because I frankly see that it's not necessarily as easy as people would think to drive it on a daily basis.
Yeah, I agree a lot, because it was hard to get it out of the garage as is when we tried to pull it out on the road. We had a lot of problems.
It feels wide, it feels long, it's super cool, don't get me wrong, in the sense of you're gonna have like paparazzis after you. Everybody looks at you when you're in a Cybertruck.
Yeah, you stand out a lot, especially when you're in a big triangle.
Yeah. And I applaud Tesla for doing those symbols all over the vehicle, because I think that, you know, when you're building something abnormal, you want it to stand out of class, and they did an excellent job there. It's just some of the things need to be tweaked just a little bit. So what we did is pulled over to put the tonneau cover down so we will get better range, and you can see the performance difference with it covered. I like the 1-pedal drive because you really barely have to hit the brakes at all. And I mean, for a tank, with the weight that you have, the clearance that you have, it's pretty quiet. Seat comfort isn't bad. I would say for a long journey, you'll be fine because you can stretch. But does it keep that wow factor after driving the vehicle? And now with the tonneau cover closed. Oh man, we're in outer space already. It's a fun vehicle when you want it to be. Practical, it's outrageous.
Yeah, we definitely just hit light speed.
I feel like I'm going to Mars now.
But is it the truck that we need for our EV? Let us know in the comments.
And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and we like to thank Land Rover of Tampa for giving us this Cybertruck for our car review.